It's day 10 of the Iran war. We're on the ground in Jerusalem. Let's take you through what's been happening across the region today. Iran has a new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, the son of the late Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. He is a regime hardliner, closely associated with the Revolutionary Guard, and played a pivotal role within the security establishment throughout his father's rule, despite never having held political office. Large crowds gathered in Tehran today to pay their allegiance to the new Ayatollah, waving the regime flag. A missile launched towards Israel in the first strikes after his appointment was signed, "At your service, Saeed Mojtaba." A spokesperson from the Iranian Foreign Ministry has said there is no point in discussing a ceasefire now while the country is under attack. Newly released footage verified by Sky News shows a US Tomahawk missile strike next to a girls' school in Minab, Iran, where Iranian authorities reported 175 people to have been killed, nearly all of them schoolgirls. President Donald Trump has claimed that it was an Iranian missile which hit that school.
In my opinion, based on what I've seen, that was done by Iran.
Is that true, Mr. Nixon? It was Iran who did that?
We're certainly investigating.
Still investigating.
But the only side that targets civilians is Iran.
In Lebanon, the IDF has continued its campaign of airstrikes against Hezbollah targets in Beirut and in southern Lebanon, including on branches of a financial institution which is supposed to be linked to the Iranian-linked militia group. UNICEF has confirmed that more than 80 children have been killed since Israel launched its campaign against Hezbollah 1 week ago. 2 medics were killed this morning in southern Lebanon by Israeli airstrikes, according to state media. Lebanon's president, Joseph Aoun, has said that the airstrikes would not achieve Israel's goal of removing the threat from Hezbollah, and that he is ready to resume negotiations with Israel to try and halt the escalation. Bahrain has accused Iran of damaging one of its desalination plants, which supplies water to millions of residents and travellers. The Gulf region is heavily dependent on plants like this for its drinking water, with the UAE getting around 42% of its water from desalination plants across the region. The country's health ministry also says that 32 people were injured in a drone attack in an area close to Bahrain's capital, the youngest just 2 months old. In an exclusive interview with Sky News, the Prime Minister of Qatar has called Iran's strikes on the Gulf a dangerous miscalculation.
This miscalculation by the Iranians to attack the Gulf countries has destroyed everything. Our countries don't want to be part of this war. This miscalculation by the Iranians to attack the Gulf countries has destroyed everything. Our countries don't want to be part of this war.
The conflict has once again drawn in NATO forces after the alliance's air defence assets deployed in the eastern Mediterranean shot down a ballistic missile in Turkish airspace in the second such incident this past week. The effect of the war has rippled across the world, with oil prices seeing their biggest one-day rise in 6 years. Donald Trump has insisted that the spike will be temporary. Here in Israel, the death toll has risen to 11, with 1 person killed today from an Iranian missile in the centre of the country. The IDF say they are witnessing the use of cluster munitions almost daily, although the number of missiles in each barrage from Iran has reduced considerably since the start of the war. And Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer says the war is likely to affect the cost of living in Britain, and that his government is talking with international partners to try and mitigate the impact of the crisis on people and on businesses.
The longer this goes on, the more likely the potential for an impact on our economy, impact into the lives and households of everybody and every business.
Kahalayim la Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi Waha Raha Kodash. All praises and glory go to you, Lord. Double honors and respect go to our apostles, bishops, elders, and teachers. The men of Great Millstone, to you I say shalom. Salutations to the hopefully elect, it's your brother Amraya. And this is the latest update on your situation with Iran, all right? Now, as we always do, we chew the meat and spit the bones. We're living through some very prophetic times right now, all right? And as things escalate, some countries, some of these heathens might be under the misconception. As you saw towards the end of the video, the Qatar says he doesn't want to be involved, but it doesn't matter if you want to be involved in this last world's war, all right? Ultimately, the Most High is a man of war. All right. And I can prove it. Let's take a quick detour real quick. Exodus 15:3. Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name, right? So the Lord, the creator of heaven and earth, is a man of war. All right. And ultimately, this is his determination for the nations. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "For behold, in those days and in that time," what time? The times that we're living in now. All right. And who knows? This could crack off in the next couple months, couple years, but it's going to crack off. All right. Because his word does not return unto him void. Okay. Joel chapter 3, verse 1 again, it says, "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, and I will gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land." Right. So all of this controversy in the world is about the nations scattering Israel. And Israel, Jerusalem, it's a people before it is a place. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, North American Indians, and yes, some confusion of faces because we have been scattered into all nations. So the Lord is gathering all nations, whether you like. Salakia, I received a phone call. All right. But continuing on, it says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Right. All right. The children of Israel were quite literally sold into slavery in these last days, used as cabin boys, read between the lines, used as harlots, used as commodities to trade for wine and liquor and alcohol and guns and weapons and whatever else. All right. So after the treatment of the children of Israel, our power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, has now risen up in these last days. All right. And in these lands where we have been scattered, we shall be retrieved by the Lord. But before this can occur, several prophecies have to continue to play out. Jacob's trouble. All right. That is the afflicting of the children of Israel. All right. The hour of temptation. Those that will accept or deny the mark of the beast. All right. And this solidifies two marks, because if you accept the mark of the beast, you do not receive the mark of exemption, which is the Tawah. All right. So a divide is being drawn in the sand between the elect and the 2/3 of the nation of Israel, between the nations and the children of Israel. All right. Moreover, the elect. This is a very good chapter to read. However, keep in mind, I have a point to get to, so I must skip through some of this. Skipping down a little bit to verse 9, Joel chapter 3 and verse 9, and here's the point. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, the true heathens of the world," all right, the different nations. "Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up." Right, so it don't matter if you want to be involved or not. The Lord is gathering you into the valley of his judgment to judge you, to plead with all flesh. And we already know, by fire and by sword shall the Lord plead with all flesh, man. All right. But the Lord is proclaiming this all throughout the world. This is the message that is the frequency that is going throughout the nations right now. All right. In America, Babylon the Great, your precious America will be destroyed in this next world's war. All right. By her allies, by her enemies, by the Lord and his chariots. All right. By wild beasts, all manners of destruction. Verse 10, "Beat your plowshares into swords, you nations, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong." Right. Put down the agriculture and pick up those same instruments of agriculture now need to be turned into instruments of war. And this is what the nations are doing. Why do you think they have stockpiles now? All right. because the Lord has always determined to gather the heathen together to be judged. And this is what we are witnessing. All right. And we haven't even hit the peak of it yet, because you still have, as I stated, the mark of the beast must be mandatory. All right. Which is a micro C-hip. All right. The elect must be sealed. All right. That divide must be drawn in the sand in the nation of Israel between the elect and the 2/3. All right. And that's all in the Lord's time. But we can clearly see the signs that, hey, now is the time to arise out of sleep, for our salvation is nearer than when we believe. All right. Continuing on, verse 11, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Right. Such as Iran. All right. They just chose a new supreme leader. The Lord wasn't going to allow them to go without leadership, because they're going to be led into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. All right. Along with the rest of the heathen, along with America, Babylon the Great. And guess what? They're your sons, your daughters, your nephews, your whole bloodlines are going to be wiped out. All right. That's what's coming. And if this message strikes fear in you, it should. Now is the time to repent if you're of the nation of Israel, because things are getting deadly serious. They always have been deadly serious, but you can clearly see the signs, can't you? All right. Verse 12, let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow. Their wickedness is great, right? And wickedness is at an all-time high in the world, man. The harvest is the end of the world. The harvest is ripe. We are ripe for the picking, all right? And ultimately, if you're of the nation of Israel, you have to repent, because we all have death sentences on us, all right? We're the ones under the curse of the law, all right? And without mercy, without forgiveness, we have no chance of surviving what is coming, all right? And I pray that all of y'all stay prayed up. I say that you stay watchful and visual in these last days, because things are escalating, all right? Verse 14, and this is where I end out. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. And that's the title of today's video, all right? After all the signs and tokens, the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. Shalom.